they're beautiful. Hey, hey, hey. So, guys, I don't know why I just said hey, like, that word. It was weird. Okay. I do stuff like that. But anyway, I'm not gonna take that out. So, um, I'm gonna go ahead and start off. I'm gonna start with this message, guys, because I am up early. You know, God woke me up at 5 o'clock. I'm gonna say this right here. When you start fasting and you start like really living your life, because I've been living my life the way that God wants me to live my life for some years now, and God has been calling me to like work, and I just been like, God, what you want me to, I want to work in my business. I want to be an entrepreneur. And God was like, hey, I need you to gather my people. And I was trying to do other stuff. And God was like, okay, all right. I'm gonna sit you down for a little bit so you can, understand what I need you to do. And so, like I mentioned in the previous video, I had a stroke, right? Early 30s, I'm 32. I have 3 children, married, high school sweetheart. Um, my children had to watch me go out on a stretcher. And when I say the stroke, I had it, I guess, at home. And it wasn't, I don't know if it was like a mini or what, but they saw the damaged tissue on my brain. Um, and how I found out is that I had a migraine. I kept getting a migraine on one side. And, you know, luckily I went. And when I went to I'm over here thinking I can go to urgent care. And I ended up, God, like, look, let me tell you something about God. Like, you really think you be doing this stuff? Like, you really think that you are the one? I'm thinking I'm going to urgent care. I have arrived at a standalone emergency room that looks like an urgent care. She wouldn't let me leave because she's like, hey, we see something on your brain where you've had a stroke. So I called my husband. I grabbed my other phone. I have some music playing on it. I'm over calling my husband, and I'm like I'm barely able to talk, and I'm over here like, trying to get my words out. Now, this is the thing about my husband. I'm a Cancer. He's a Scorpio, and if you know anything about a Scorpio and a Cancer, if you don't, I'm gonna tell you. So, Cancers are very sensitive. They're very intuitive. They're very nurturing. They are very emotional, very sensitive, very, 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 very sensitive. Um, very in touch with their intuition, and very smart. um, okay, I added the last one in. Intelligent. I'm adding stuff, but no, they're very sensitive and nurturing. They're actually, from what I understand, they're the best mothering, or the most nurturing sign. Um, and then the Scorpio, honey. The Scorpio, from what I researched, is um, they are very compatible with Cancer, and they're very protective, very just they're sweet though. Like my husband, he's like the sweetest. Like nobody understands him, but me. I feel like that's how I feel like. But they definitely are sensitive as well, and no one knows that about them because they kind of go along to themselves. And I feel like because I am a Cancer, I can understand, that they are sensitive as well, and they're just quiet about it, and so they won't tell you that they need stuff, so you just have to kind of act on it. And so that's the whole spiel. And so when I called my husband, and he was just like, I was like, can you come in? I'm over here talking like I'm 4 years old. I was like, because I told the doctor, I was like, I don't want to go in an ambulance. You know, I don't want that loud noise and all that, like making up a, like people watching me drive down the highway. Because she was like, I have to get you to another hospital that's gonna accept a stroke patient. And she just made it seem so like, like I actually had a stroke. And so I'm like, okay, this must be real. And so, she was like, other than your blood pressure going up, I still can't let you leave because I just saw this CAT scan and this is what they're saying you had. So I can't let you leave. And I was like, okay, what about if my husband drives me to the hospital that you're saying that I have to go to? And she was like, okay, let me think about it. Let me advise, let me see, let me check on it. And she came back in there and she was like, in that meantime, I'm over here on the phone with my husband. And I'm like, babe, can you come, pick me up? And he was just like, what happened? And I told him, I said, they said I had a stroke. And he was like, okay, we had three girls, three beautiful, 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 beautiful girls. Like we love them so much. We just love them so much. We homeschool them. Like the thing that just happened for me. That's what the guy, the founder, he just kept saying, he was like, I can't believe that you went to college for 3 years and stopped just to homeschool your kids. He was like, that's so amazing. That's so inspirational. And I was like, yeah, I just started getting certificates and started running my business, really. And I was just more successful in business. And, my children now have 4.0s and they're 2 grade levels, ahead. So I feel like I really, and like I told them, I can always go back and get the rest of my few credits and just finish that too. But anyway, so my husband, he came, he just still came up there, and the doctor, she was just like, you know what, I can't let you leave with someone else taking you, but they can follow, the medical vehicle that's going to be taking you. And then I'll just make sure that it's a transporting vehicle that's not, making with the sirens and everything. So they like literally put me on a stretcher and like locked me down and put seatbelts on me, and like it was the real deal. And granted, I understand I had a stroke, but I had it previously, and they were trying to like when I looked over my paperwork, they said that they were trying to make sure that they were able to sustain life. So they were trying to make sure that I stayed alive. And when I read that, I realized that this was like my moment. This was my moment where I really had that like, wait, am I really doing what I want to do in life? Am I really living life the way that I want to live life? Am I really touching and inspiring? All these notes that I have, all these books that I read all the time, how am I giving this back to other people like I said I've always wanted to do? Just like right here, I have notes saying to encourage others to be great when given a chance. This is what I dream of this. I dream of, walking onto stages and helping other people and inspiring other people with my story, with my childhood story and how I got through all of this stuff. And I said to myself, like, wait, like, they're trying to sustain my life and like, I haven't done any of this, and I don't, I haven't done any of this. And so I just said to myself, what am I doing wrong? Like, what am I doing wrong? Because I haven't done anything other than, my children, my husband, my world. They're my world. I love them. They love me, and to see them like so sad and so worried about me, like that broke my heart. That broke my heart. And I'm going to try not to cry because that's another thing about cancer. We are crybabies. And, seeing my family so sad, and seeing my husband, my daughter saying my husband was pacing the floor and calling his husband, not his, oh, not his, calling his cousin, calling his cousin, calling his cousin who was in a hospital, and trying to get advice from him on what to do for me. And, he was so worried, and trying to make sure that I'm okay. He brought me Chick-fil-A to the hospital, and I felt so bad because I felt like I was failing them, even though I felt like I've been, doing everything that I was supposed to do for them. But failing myself by not putting my health first. And just making sure, even though I go to all my checkups. Like, literally, I was kicked out of the hospital. I was kicked out of the emergency room for going for everything. Like, if I had menstrual cramps, I was in the ER. I was kicked out. Like, so I literally go to every appointment, But something happened in the midst of all of this, and I didn't know that my health, that I basically, my blood pressure had gotten up so high at one point. And I was taking these pre-workouts. That's a whole nother different story. This is how this all happened. And yeah, just a whole bunch of crazy stuff. And I couldn't breathe one time. And so I believe this is how this happened. But yeah, that's a whole nother story. But they had me in the hospital, and they let me go the next day because I was a good patient. I did my workout. I had all my labs were clean. I did my MRIs. I don't know if you've been in a hospital, friend. I don't know, but you got to do some stuff to get out. You got to. The only time I've been in there is for my C-sections and for my birth. But yeah, you got to do some stuff to get out. You got to prove yourself worthy. So, like, I was in there walking, and I was getting up, using the restroom, and my nurse said that I was a good patient, because she was like, you ain't got to do nothing for her. So, like, my nurse gave me a good report. You got to do some stuff to get out. So, just in case if you end up in the hospital, if you want to get out and you are healthy, you got to get up and move. You got to show them that, you good. So, that's what I had to do. But just back to the story. So, like, that was my life-changing event. So that was very life-changing, And immediately after that, like I told you guys, I started a 3-day fast. And during this fast, it's been real crazy. And I want to go over some key points for you guys. If you don't mind, I'm going to grab my notes here. And first thing, I want to start off with one quote that's on one of my notebooks that I used to always write notes in. It says, so it's Corinthians 13:13. And it says, now these three remain: faith. So now these three remain. So these three remain: faith, hope, love. But the greatest of these is love. Okay? So I just wanted to start with that because I love that. But I want you guys to know, I know I had this whole spiel in the beginning, but I want you guys to know the message that God has given to me to give to you. God is going to be the one to promote you. And right before God promotes you, expect to go through some times that many people are calling these dark nights of the soul, these, depressions and different things like that. Expect to go through something just like that. But God is going to be the one who's going to promote you. God is going to give you that promotion. Not your boss, not your supervisor. But I'm going to tell you something. God works through people, yes. But they're not the ones that are going to promote you. God will promote you out of the position that you're in. God will promote you to a whole nother company. God will have a customer, a client, another business to give you a call or see you working at your job. And God will promote you right on out of that company. This is what has happened to me. Okay? the job that you do, whatever you do, always work as if you are working for God. Always work as if you're not employed by the companies. Even in your business, work in your business. If you have the courage to start a business and be an entrepreneur, that's your thing too. Work in that business as if you work for God, and watch how God will work through you so much. Watch how God will send those right clients to you at the right time. Just watch. God just sent me a client, $1 million client, to propose for me to run their operation, okay? And to also bring on independent people who want to basically do the same thing. And this is crazy because I always like vet my clients, make sure they're not scamming and all that. This is basically through a government subsidy program. So this is basically legit. So that's the first thing I check for with my clients and everything. But basically for them to, and then the reason why they actually want to do this is because they want to take people that are actually just working and making $15, $16, $17 an hour and help them advance their careers and become their own bosses and work for themselves and not have a cap on their income and show them how to make money just basically sitting there, and it's just really crazy. Just showing them how to do it and the inspiration behind it, and to be able to, God, baby, I promise you, this is nothing but a testimony, and I want you to understand that. I want you to understand this is a testimony of what God has done for me. I had another client last year who actually was working with me, and she wanted to build her call center, and I was working with her because that's my industry. So like I teach people how to build their businesses. I teach people how to. So for her, because I have call center industry experience, operations manager experience, management experience, I was actually teaching her how to go out and get clients. And mind you, she was fresh off of her 9 to 5, so I literally had to counsel her, because she didn't believe in herself. And she kept sending out her emails. She stayed consistent. And the second week of working with me, she basically she was able to meet with 2 clients. The second client was $1 million client. She was actually a celebrity client. I don't know what made her go for a celebrity. She just, I just wanted to. She was like, oh, I saw her on TV, so I just wanted to see if the email was real. So I was like, okay, this is what you say. I coached her on what to say. And she was just like so shocked. Like she was just like, man, she was like, Charmaine, your company, y'all know what y'all are doing. Like she was so shocked at her results. Like, and I told her, I said, okay, once I do my, because I was going to get some, I think I was going to set up some in-person events. And I told her, I just want you to, be one of my customers to give your review. And what, I helped you do. So like, if you want to do that, that's fine. But, yeah. And so when I tell y'all, God is going to be the one to promote you, you just got to believe it. You got to believe it. God is going to have the right person to come into your life. And the problem here is what I find is that the way that the thinking, the way that we think is really the problem. The mindset is the problem. And I felt that, whenever I was fasting, I noticed that, we're so focused on, what the problem, the problem is this, the problem is that. But what is the solution? How are you coming about finding the solution? And I find that we focus so much on the problem that we don't give time to even find the solution. We just say, oh, I can't find a job. Oh, I can't start my business. Okay, so you can't find a job. is what you're saying. But are you like what's your solution? So my solution would be, okay, let me look at what I'm doing right now to find a job, and let me do something different. Let me ask around to see what other people may have done to find a job. Let me get some referrals from some companies. Let me create a LinkedIn account. Let me do something different than what I've been doing. So the problem is that we're not developing solutions. We're just focusing on a problem, and we're sitting and staying there. And I think that is why the right people are not walking into our lives. And it's just as simple as that. Like, I know it sounds crazy, like, oh, so you telling me if I start thinking positive and I think, and I start thinking about a solution rather than the problem, people just gonna walk into my life? Yes, that's what's gonna happen. People are gonna walk into your life because they're gonna notice. And I'm gonna tell you word for word what this person told me. They said to me, this person that wanted to work with me, this founder of this company, this person told me, that was like, you basically your personality, your attitude towards this situation, I basically want to work with you because I've seen so many other people, and I've interacted with so many people, but it's something different about you. This is exactly what I mean by this is, they're gonna see something in you. God is gonna give them something. God is gonna speak to them so that they, I'm pointing to my mind, but it's gonna really be the heart. God is going to speak to them, and they're going to see something in you that they are going to want to bring into whatever, if it's their business, if they want to become your client, whatever it is, they're going to see it, and they're going to ask you about it. They're going to want to gravitate to it. Also, when you go into public places, when you go to places, people are going to be totally different with you. People are going to hold the door if you're a woman. If you're a man, people are going to be, want to conversate with you. And it's going to be, you're going to wonder what's different, but it's your energy. It's God that's radiating through you. It's the love that's radiating through you. It's Christ that's radiating through you. And nobody can change that. Nobody nobody can alter that. Okay? And so I'm going to move on to the next point here. And I want to tell you something that God also put on my heart too to tell you guys. Many of us think that we get old enough to the point to where we're too old to learn a lesson. And this is furthest from the truth. I'm going to share a picture with you guys, and I'm going to tell you what was given to me. So this is a picture of when I was about, let me see, hopefully you guys can see it. It's kind of blurry. Oh, wow. Okay, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Well, anyway, you'll get the concept. Anyway, you get the concept, see? So cute. So what I wanted to tell you guys is that, so that's me when I was 6. And so this is the way that God sees us, no matter how old we are. God sees us as this little, cute, little, loving, little thing. Really a baby, but as a little cute kid, a loving, innocent. This is how God sees us. And do you know that one thing that you used to like to do that really, really, made you happy, that just really, for me as a kid, I love to draw. I love to do anything that was creative, like draw. I love to sew. Once I learned how to sew when I was like 7, people laughed at me recently about this, but I learned how to sew when I was like 7 or 8, and it was like this needle that was like plastic. But I love anything in the arts, and I love to draw. Like, I drew all the time, and my children, they can draw. Like, I get so excited, for them. We do arts and crafts, and we love doing it. And, what did you love to do? What did you love to do when you were a kid? Was it like playing in the mud, or I remember I used to pick up worms too. Like, I'm so disgusted like by this stuff now. Like, I love fishing, but like I'm literally out there with the plastic gloves, and I'm just like, ugh, I don't know how I used to do that stuff. It's crazy. But yeah, like, what did you used to love to do when you were a kid? And I want you guys to post it down in the bottom for me, seriously. And I want you to think about those moments, and how they used to make you feel. And that is the innocence that basically God, if you can remember that innocence, that is like an innocence that God sees us in, you know, and He wants us to tap into more of that fun, innocence, free, playful energy, if you will. And a lot of the times, it's easier to do that when you have children, grandchildren, great grandchildren. If you have nieces, nephews, it's easier to tap into those moments. And that is, I'm gonna tell you a secret here. That is when God is working in your life, because your mind is freed up and you're not thinking about all the negative things that you normally think about. So if you if you made out time to do some of those things that you used to love to do when you were a kid, and just see if you like any of the things, I don't know what it could be, but mine was painting, just painting, drawing. Well, not painting actually. I just added painting recently. I'm practicing in painting. Mine was sketching though. I love sketching, and just trying to do some of those things and adding more of those things on. If you like the arts, I'm trying to go to like art classes. That's what my husband, he paid for a place. My husband, he's calling me now. He yeah, so he rented out a place for my birthday, and it was so sweet, and it was just us. He rented out the whole place for us, and like, it was chocolate, wine, and just so sweet. Like, I love him so much. He's so sweet. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, just try to see what it is that you used to like to do, that you had a passion for, and just nurture that inner child. Take the inner child with you. And that's what I do every morning. I keep this picture of myself. I keep it on my where I keep my jewelry, and every morning I always kind of give her. I give her like a look, like I can look at her, and I kind of just take her with me. Like, I give like a thought, like, okay, I'm gonna take myself with me, and but yeah, so I do take her with me, and yeah, and so I do have a few more points that I'm gonna go ahead and just try to get to, because I didn't expect for this video to be this long, but I was called to go ahead and just tell that story of what happened. So I'm gonna probably have to follow up this video with the other points. But so as far as God wants you to be patient with yourself and with others, and God also wants you to get out of your head. And I think that's the part with the inner child. So God is calling you to do things that are more so just freeing up the mind. Okay. So whether that's taking a walk, whatever is freeing, mind freeing to you, whether that's, planning a mini vacation, something that's affordable, whatever, if you could find a deal, and just bring up the mind. You deserve that. You deserve to be free. Your birthright is to be free. Okay. Right now, we are going through a time, a special, special time. And, we all say this, we go through these phases, and we feel like we're saying the same thing. But this time is really different. And if you believe that, if you have that inner knowing, you know, it's because you know deep inside that this time is also different too. And I want to say, I forgot to tell you guys to go ahead and like this video, give it a thumbs up, and then also make sure that you have the bell notification on if you are already subscribed, so that you do receive a notification when I do post. But I'm going to go ahead and go into this offer, and I'm going to have to, when it comes to these points that I have here, I'm going to mark where I left off, and I'm going to go ahead and follow it up with a second video, because I don't want to take up too much of your time. But I want to go ahead and go into this offer. So as far as the offer, this is basically an offer. So if you guys know anybody that is a single mother, single father, if they're married, whatever, like just looking to make or change their life, and I feel like you may be able to start off doing it part-time. I'm not sure, but we are looking for full-time, and we're not selling anything. It is health insurance, but you're not selling anything, so it's basically just enrollments. So we're going to train you how to enroll people into the insurance, and that's about it. And so you will be getting paid 50% commission, and for every client. So you will, first starting out, we will just pay you the hourly until you get your commission, which will be in January. So the commission, the insurance company actually pays the commission out starting in January. They pay it for the 12 months that the insurer is enrolled. And so right now we have a person, we just have so many people that have built. So the average we're looking to route to each agent is about 400 people. So that's what we're trying to send to each agent. We already have the people that we're going to be sending to them. So we just need basically the agents that we can assign them to. So we need dedicated agents that we can assign them to. So the only thing that we're asking is for you to be willing to get your license, and we're going to pay for that. And we just want you to have that grit to want to work, like to want to make, the money. So that's really about it. You basically, the sky's the limit to how much you can make actually. And the enrollments are, the insurance companies, they pay between $30 and $50 a month for 12 months per person. And we need each agent to have 400 people routed to them every year. And then if you just say that, okay, this is too many clients, and then, for whenever you're re-enrolling, it's really just auto enrollments. That's about it for the re-enrollments. But if you're getting, if you feel like, okay, I want to max out at 800 people, you can just keep those 800 people. Most likely you'll probably make, if you're 50% commission, that would be around 140K, just with 800 people. And the only thing that you're doing is just, the system is just going to auto enroll them back into the same policy. And so you're not, the only work that you're doing is literally that first 10, 15 minutes of getting their initial information. And that's it. That's all you're doing. And so the problem here, though, the reason why it is something that we need help with is because most people do not want to go through just taking their test to get licensed. And so I just recently became a license adjuster. So on the 18th, I believe, I got my license, my claims adjuster license. So I'm going to also get this license as well to be able to sell, or I guess it's going to be sell, but we don't sell though. So that's the thing. We just only enroll into insurance. So yeah. And if you are interested in that, if you do know someone that is really, that's needing, some work, and that's really, wanting to get in and work and has like, customer service experience, and has that, that grit and doesn't already have an insurance license, we're going to pay for the license and everything. We're going to pay you to work and everything. And then once your commission kicks in, starting in January, we're going to pay you then. So this is basically the offer. Just let me know. I'm gonna probably leave my business email in the comments, or either you guys actually can contact my current email. That's on my profile. I have that too there. But yeah, just definitely reach out. Definitely reach out, and we can definitely talk about it. And I do want to thank you guys, if you have made it this far, for watching this video. I hope that you guys stay prayed up, and I just want to say thank you again for watching, and I do love you guys. Okay, and I will see you in the next video.